Which iPod do you have? There's the Touch, the Shuffle, the Classic. I don't happen to have one. And, of course, the usual Nano. Well, today I want to go ahead and do a review on the iPod Nano 4th generation for you guys. Go ahead and take this out of the box. I have opened it. I just put it in there because I thought it would look nice. Okay. Well, what's nice when you first open it is it comes with your cables and everything you need to get started. But the iPod Nano, I have to say I was very surprised with. It's so thin. You can barely see this in the camera. Okay? Let me see if I can compare it to something I have on my desk. Maybe that's not a good example. What should I compare? A pen. Okay. Here is a basic Papermate green pen. iPod Nano, green pen. Wow. That is pretty thin. So, some of the features on here are good, and some of them are useless. You know, you gotta say it. The iPod Nano's got the basic hold button, like your old one, of course. And then you can scroll on through your stuff with the classic click wheel. So, I personally prefer the iPod Touch out of all of them. But I do have the Nano also. Now, the 4th generation ones, as you can tell, have gotten thinner, and they're coming in more colors, and they have the color all around them. Now, one thing I would like to point out right away before I forget that I do not like about this iPod, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and show you. You can see on the bottom, it's got ports. There's a headphone jack on this side, and then the regular Apple charger things right there. Now, I'll say right now, this little piece of plastic on the bottom of my iPod has popped off so many times. I mean, I don't even remember. Now, the nice thing is I just keep sticking it back on and it's fine. But I'm worried it's going to come off and I'm not going to be able to stick it back on. So, if that has happened to you, I'd suggest super glue or calling Apple and asking them what they'd suggest. They might have some sort of adhesive stuff at the Apple store they'll put on it for free. But that is one downside I noticed right away, a con to this. Now, these start at $150 refurbished. I believe it's $120, not $150 new. I believe it's $129 refurbished. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But they're very nice. Apple refurbished products, you can't even tell they're refurbished. So I'm going to go with one of those if you don't care what box it comes in. Or if you don't really care if it's refurbished or new or not. Some people say, oh, I gotta have a new one. But it's got the hold button and that works nicely. I will say the back, the way these words and everything are with this material, I'm not sure what to call it. I don't think it's aluminum, but it does scratch very easily on the back. There's a scratch on my Apple logo here on the back. So it scratches very easily. So beware of scratches. I definitely recommend a case. I personally do not have one right now for my Nano, but I would go ahead and purchase one if this is your primary iPod. This is my secondary, so I really don't use it as much, but I would recommend protecting it either way. Now, as you might know, Apple also has some new headphones with a mic on them, a remote and mic, right here, just like a cell phone headset has. So right here you can see the mic, and then of course we have our control buttons, which work quite nicely. I'll have a review coming up soon on these. I just have to use them a few more days. The mic, I will say I have not been able to get it to work on any other iPod than the Nano. Now, yes, it's only for the current generations, so it would not work in an older generation iPod. So if you put it in a Nano first generation, God, I can't talk tonight. It'll play music most likely, but I doubt these controls are going to do a thing if you click them. But in the Nano, a nice feature it has is a voice recording. When you plug this in, you can actually record notes or just plain old voice talking. You can do a voice recording. These are all tangled up now. I've been messing with them. But that microphone will allow you to actually record yourself speaking, and then you can play it back at any time on the iPod as long as you have a speaker plugged in, which is a quite nice feature. I will say I wish it worked for recording on the iPod Touch, but that could be to come in the future. So, all in all, this iPod, I believe it's totally worth $150. That piece of plastic on the bottom was the only design flaw, I'd say. That and the scratching. I haven't had a single problem with it in here working, the actual software on it. I haven't had to call Apple once for this iPod, I don't think. So, my Touch I've had to call many times, but everyone knows the iPod Touch, they have a lot more problems. So, but usually they're easy to fix. But, usually if you have any problems, you can just reset the iPod. Of course, now I forget how to do it. It's either the menu in the center or the play in the center. Go ahead and leave a comment, because I can't remember at this time. But Apple will tell you if you call them. If it freezes or something, you can just do a reset. You got to hold it for a couple seconds, and then it'll reset the iPod and restart it, and you're good to go. But all in all, this iPod is totally worth it. If you do not need the Touch or do not like it, I'd recommend this one. Otherwise, a classic. Or if you don't mind not having a screen, the Shuffle's always good. This is a second generation Shuffle, the last version of it. So this was originally mine. It's actually my mom's now, but I still have it in here to charge. But the iPod Nano, as you can see, it's the very thin iPod. It comes in 8 gigabytes standard for $150, and then you can get it, I think, 16 gigabytes for $200. So, but to me, at $200 you can spend $30 more and get a new iPod Touch 8 gigabyte. And even though it's half the size, you get so many more features, it's worth it to me. So, in the end, it's all about what you do on your iPod and what you need on the iPod. So, I'd go and you can compare all the iPods on Apple's site, and then just go in and decide which one's best for you and purchase it. And if you have questions, you can go ahead and email me at Jordan.Klekot@gmail.com. That's Jordan.Klekot@gmail.com. Or you can check me out on YouTube, but you can comment, rate, and subscribe, and click on my YouTube channel, whichever way it is, I don't know. And go ahead and click on that, and go to my videos. Please do that, actually. Yeah, youtube.com/AppleDude25, it's all one word. Or starting soon, you can check me out on Ustream, ustream.tv/channel/Jordan-video, not Jordan-Klekot-live. It's very complicated. There will be a link in the description. I know I messed that up on one of my last videos. I don't even remember how I messed it up. I probably screwed it up so much. But anyway, I would highly recommend this iPod if it works for you. Otherwise, go ahead and email me about any other questions or comments, or go ahead and call me. Starting Friday, I'll be taking live calls. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.